from my apartment. It's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy. Frickin' Suri is on Big Brother. Are you kidding me? What? I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our kickoff premiere coverage of BB25. It was the longest 89 minutes of most of our lives. And then a shocking reveal at the end of the show told us who the 17th house guest ultimately is. Survivor legend Suri Fields here with us to talk about it all. Here we've got a great premiere night panel. He was a non-believer. I have to say I was too. And of course, here back with us, a guy who's averse to all the averses. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I've had quite the day, Rob. I started the day saying, you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me. And then when CBS tweeted out there's a 17th house guest,
got him.
I may have lost my mind on Twitter. And then I tried to convince myself, no. It's a twin twist. That's what they're talking. It's a twin twist 17th house guest. And
it
then
is kind of a Project DNA.
A little bit, yeah. It's honestly like it's hard to describe how exciting this is because in part it hasn't fully set in. Just to be clear here, like Suri on Big Brother is something that like occurred in my wildest dreams, has been occurring in my wildest dreams for years. And the fact that it's real doesn't feel real, and I still might be dreaming. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, the dream is real, okay? And back with us, of course, the voice of the people, who must be also thrilled tonight. It's Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. I honestly, first of all, I can't believe they left that big reveal till, like, the credits were rolling. I was like, wait, what? Hold on. I mean, I guess.
Okay, Melissa, you're a little bit in and out. Let's get that. We'll come back to you, and let me bring in a guy who is, I think, pretty pumped up tonight. Here he is, of course, my co-host from Nothing But Netflix. Chappell is here. Chappell, how are you?
Rob, it's Suri, man. They put Suri on Big Brother, and then you were like, "Oh, Chappelle, come talk about it on this." Well, are you kidding me? What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? What am I going to do? How do we live? How do we move on? How do we move forward? I have so many questions, and I don't want any answers. Suri is on Big Brother, Rob. What the?
How did these people not like lose their minds? It was like so.
Right?
Did they see her backstage? Like it was like they walked in like, oh, yeah. I mean, if anybody was there, if it was freaking Brent Champagne, they'd be like, oh my God, what are you doing here?
Do they not know that's Suri? They don't.
I think some of them don't know. Like that's what it seemed like to me. Like they were introducing themselves as if they didn't know. Because I thought I heard someone say like, "Who are you?" Like just hello, hi. You know.
How dare you in the year of our Lord 2023 not know who Suri Fields is? I'm sorry. I know there are Big Brother only watchers, casual Survivor people, new Survivor fans, but you need to go back and do your research. Look at the literature.
Imagine Suri just appeared on this call and none of us acknowledged her.
Right. Like, oh, hey, how are you? Y'all gonna have to get me off this floor right here.
Super weird.
It's crazy. This is wild.
And that's Jared. A call. Not an enclosed house that nobody else is supposed to be in.
Y'all, and poor Jared, he has to come in and think, okay, do I pretend I'm not related to this woman who I look exactly like? Or do I pretend that I know her from another show that would give this away? Or do I just say, what up, mama? Did he know?
That he has to know. How would you? How could they get him and not have his mom also be making arrangements to go and be in the show?
What if she lied to him? What if she kept it from her own son? Because she's a beast. She's Suri, damn it. She can do that.
He's the competition now, Jared. You're on the block. You're going home.
Out of here. You're going home, baby. With no
orders. It's your first lesson.
I'm worried for Jared at this point. I feel like people are going to just like target him for sure. I mean, if they're afraid to target Suri, which like I would probably be afraid to target Suri, they're definitely going to try and get like at least her biggest ally out, and they're never going to turn on each other. I mean, like they wouldn't. I mean, unless I don't know, who knows? But
unless it's Suri, Melissa. Unless it's Suri.
Suri voted out the other traitors. Think about it.
She did. She had the people ready to
Ask
die for her.
Arlie. Yeah.
But I feel like it's like he's already on the block right off the bat. It's like you got to take the shot if you know that like if
Shooter's
you know
gonna shoot.
It's his mom. Like I mean, that's a built-in alliance. I would absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a lot to process here tonight, and we're going to get through all of it. Okay. So, a Big Brother premiere just got done. Taran, live feeds are going to kick off tonight. What, after the West Coast episode airs? Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, so look, many of us are probably may not make it to the live feeds here on the East Coast, but if you miss anything, sorry, Taran.
What's wrong with you?
Look, that's where you come in, Taran, because no matter what happens, Taran will be live at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the first live feed update of the season. You can get 100 days of Big Brother live feed updates and all of our episode recaps and much, much more when you're subscribed to our podcast feed. Go to robhasawebsite.com/Big Brother to get the links to subscribe for free for all of the podcast coverage coming your way. And if you happen to be watching us up on YouTube and you didn't hit the subscribe button, we'll wait. All right. Okay. So we got a lot to do here tonight as we get into everything from this Big Brother premiere. Taran, besides Suri, okay, if, any other headlines from tonight?
No. I'm sorry.
What?
Go ahead, Tim.
Was there any? Yeah, I'm with Chappell. Was there anything? It was Suri.
Yeah. It was a glorious mess as far as I was concerned. You know, I feel like that they've done this live move-in. Now, this is what, the third time that they've done it this way, the fourth time that they've done it this way. And each time, I think we just like forget just what a slog these live move-ins ultimately end up being. Chappell, I feel like this might have been the worst one.
I cannot sign off on that just because of the reveal. If it was not for
89 minutes, first 89 minutes. Yeah.
Horrible. And
It's
honestly,
the reverse Game of Thrones.
Yes, exactly. That drawn, that horse that's half drawn, it was just like flipped. You know, I think that it started off promising because, oh look, we're speeding through these intros, right? We're not doing 4 at a time. This is perfect. But then it's like, okay, now watch a clip that we've all seen. Okay, sits through that. Fine. Then watch them kind of meander through the house to find the backyard one at a time and just stand. And then then the challenges is like double dare 2000 type stuff. Like, you know, like they got gack and slime and kicking themselves in the ass. Like, yeah, my auntie's on this show. You cannot be playing these challenges. Just stop it. And then at the end, they save it with the Suri bomb and everything is fine.
All right. So let's get into it then. Can Suri win Big Brother 25, Taran?
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah, I mean, to go beyond that, Suri, I think, is very well suited to play Big Brother. I do think that, like, if you look at Suri as a player, if for some reason you don't know who Suri is, first, shame.
Get out. You're not allowed to watch the podcast.
She's basically a god tier social strategic player. She has maxed out stats in both of those areas. When it comes to competitions, she struggles a little bit. And unfortunately, Big Brother has become very competition heavy lately. However, that has never held her back too much because she is always able to maneuver people into positions that she needs them to be in order to overcome the fact that she's not winning those competitions herself. So she's very capable. I actually think Big Brother might be slightly more of a challenge than Survivor because of how comp heavy it is and how very physical these comps are. But this is Suri we're talking about. I genuinely talked earlier this year about the conversation of, is she the GOAT of all strategic reality shows after her performance in The Traitors? So can she win? Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like I'm so excited to see her on the live feeds. First of all, I think that's going to be just so fascinating. Like just to see how she does it in real time. But I do feel like it has to be said that I am a little nervous now about this season, just because I just hated Big Brother 19 so much. And I just feel like I don't want, like, I don't know. I was very excited about these house guests going into this, that like, I was just excited to see them play. And I'm worried that with this one person coming in who's a legend, you know, that they might be afraid to get her out, and it just turns into the Cirie show. And as much as I would love to see the Cirie show,
It's a good
it
show.
does feel like a little bit different than what I was hoping for going into this season. So,
Look,
you know, we'll see how it goes, but
I'll take the
I don't
heat
know.
for this. I made a deal with the devil a year ago. I tweeted after her interview with Sharon Tharp, where she said she'd be willing to play Big Brother. I said, this is the biggest slam dunk I've seen in my life. And then I said, seriously though, we won't even care if you give her a cast of recruits to steamroll. So I did sign that on behalf of the Big Brother community. So you can direct the upset toward me if you're upset about Cirie steamrolling. I'm sorry, but also not.
You are appreciated. You really are. And to thank you, I will be joining you on all the live feed updates as long as that woman is in the house. I don't know. I know, Terry, we didn't talk about this. Melissa, I know it's spur of the moment, but you gotta surprise people. Sometimes you gotta give them you didn't know you needed this. Listen, I will follow this woman off a cliff. Rig it for her. Rig it for Cirie, because she's already given us. We've seen her do Survivor like what, 4 times, 3-4 times at this point, lady.
Four times on Survivor, 1 time on the Traders.
Right.
One time on the Snake in the Grass too.
Yeah, we've seen her go through all of the strategy. We know she can do it. Now I just want her to have that title, and they put her own child in the game. They're like, look, if we're gonna rig this, we're gonna rig it. Okay.
All right. Well, tell me if this is a hot take. I think that this is going to be harder for Cirie with Jared in the house than if Jared wasn't there. Melissa, what do you think about that?
I mean, probably true. I think that it clouds your judgment a little bit because you're, looking out for someone else and not just yourself. But at the same time, I do think having, someone there who always has your back, who you can trust, is an advantage. I think that overall, I do think it's more of an advantage than a disadvantage. But I think it's definitely not an advantage for Jared. I think at this point, because he's on the block, I think that because he's already in a vulnerable position, if he and his mom basically say, oh yeah, by the way, we're related, everyone's going to be looking at him like, okay, well, none of us have someone here. None of us have a relation. So let's just, get him out now so we don't have to worry about their connection later.
Yeah, she might have gotten lucky because he also might be worse than her at challenges. I saw the puzzle. Pooh. I saw you, man. I was rude. I was like, come on, Pooh. And I quickly was deleting tweets like, oh.
It was the most Survivor-esque challenge, too.
It was so Survivor.
I cannot do puzzles like that. I love puzzles, and I'm so good at puzzles. I'm like a puzzle pro, except for those like 3D style puzzles where you have to put, I don't know, the squares into one big square, like Tetris style puzzle. I can't do it.
I would have been bad at all these competitions. There's another one that I just know I would have just flopped. But I think that this is bad. This is definitely not the best case scenario for Cirie and her son to be playing, because you got him right there dead to rights. This woman has his face. She has his face. So at the very least, they know of each other. It's hard to hide that you don't know who Cirie is on a CBS reality show. But then also, if they stand next to each other at any point, Liz and Julia, they're just twins. They just are. And so I'm sitting here thinking, you got to take him out. You have to take him out. And although I love Pooh, if you must fall so Cirie can rise. Yeah. Peace.
Honestly, that would be okay. That would be okay with me, just because the one person on the block who's not on my draft team, the rest of the people nominated as my entire draft. So that would be good. But couldn't you see the scenario where Cirie's got it all figured out? She's working everybody, and then here comes Jared, and it's like, hey, I'm in a showmance, and now he's spilling secrets to somebody who's not in the alliance, and it's like, Jared, you're grounded.
I could see
I
it.
I would say like 99% of the time, having somebody there that you can fully like trust in the game is like almost always going to be beneficial to you. Suri might be the 1% where it's like
She doesn't need it.
she creates those in people. She doesn't
Mhm.
need one that she is also having to like. The problem is that like she can make a Jared in many of these
She
people.
did.
Probably we've seen her
She
do it
did.
many
She made
times.
him.
But
Yeah,
the difference is, yeah, literally, the difference is that she's going to, I imagine, actually be loyal to Jared, whereas she wouldn't be loyal to any
Right.
like pawns that she created herself in a different way. So there is a little bit of like a chain there, like some baggage holding, potentially holding her back if she has to like divert a plan in order to help Jared out.
Mhm.
Imagine trying to pretend like you don't know who Sari is and she's your mom. To be like, so you were on Survivor, right? And she's like, yeah, I was. And y'all are sitting there talking to the mirror image of each other. They talk the same. This is foolishness at the worst case scenario. And I'm sorry, one more layer. The other person who could probably have your back to save you with Sari in the house is Corey Wurdenberger, and he's on the block too. What is happening?
He's not even in the house, Chappelle.
Yeah,
He's not
they
even going to get to
dragged him
meet
in.
Suri.
They
I
dragged
bet
him
he'd be
the
pretty
hell.
He's in the
excited.
nether regions.
He went to
Can I
the
just-
nether region.
Can I just say I when we were thinking about her potentially being in the house, Zach was making funny tweets on Twitter, and I was like, it's actually I feel like it might be terrible for Corey if Suri is in the house because in my mind, Corey is exactly the kind of person that Suri would like snipe out of the game
Yep.
quick.
Just to keep Jared in, he's gone.
Yeah, well, luckily she hasn't met him. Maybe she'll meet somebody else that she wants to target before, and then he'll be like, come back like right before the eviction.
I would die for that woman. And so I would be the one. I'd be like, nominate me, please. I threw the veto. I take you off the block. Leave me. Save me. You know, like, go, be great. Could you imagine being the reason why Sari Fields loses Big Brother? Baby, you would never see me again. This is crazy. You better throw this game. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I really, really loved the intro that they did, like at the beginning of the premiere, where they talked about all the various Big Brother seasons and they showed clips from, all the past shows. It just really got me so pumped up. And I feel like that's the first time that I've actually been really pumped up for a Big Brother and not a Big Brother Canada premiere, because at Big Brother Canada, they always do such a good job of pumping you up and getting you excited for the season to start. But this was actually like really cool, and I really liked it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, then they had people kicking themselves in the butt.
Okay, well, just like ignore that. Hey, basically,
great.
I just skipped through any of the competitions anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, this is a historic night. We have not ever had a Survivor player proper play Big Brother yet. So Suri becomes the first Survivor player to cross over to Big Brother. We have seen Amazing Race players. We have seen Big Brother players cross over into Survivor. Of course, that there's been a long history of Survivors and Big Brother players on the Amazing Race, but Suri makes history, becoming the first Survivor player to play in the Big Brother. And Suri moves one step closer to ending up completing the CBS Triple Crown. I think that you might have to consider Suri the prohibitive favorite to become the first person to ever do Survivor, Big Brother, and the Amazing Race now at this point.
She's a
Suri and
built-in
Jared.
team now. Her and Jared,
Right
both on a
right
show.
there.
It's right there. It's right there.
This is the season where we're getting Survivor players to come watch Big Brother, and we are so embarrassed, Survivor watchers. If you've never seen Big Brother before, we are so sorry. We are so sorry that this is the wacky ass show that we got you. Shannon, I know you out there listening. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna get worse. So just be happy that this is what we got so far, because we grasping for straws. But listen, if I have to go watch The Amazing Race because Sari and Jared are there, I'll be there. I will be there, front row centered. I'm sorry.
Guys.
It's the time. She bridges these gaps.
Yes, Melissa.
What if Suri ends up being like really bad? Like, what if she's just so bad?
How?
The
Give me-
game is
like, talk
flawed.
that through. Like, I think she could get like caught. Where I mean, is Suri gonna say she's Suri from Survivor?
I mean, she has to, right?
Like,
I
don't
mean,
know.
Corey
nobody brings it up.
certainly will know.
If nobody, but Taran, he's not there. If
But
she
Corey's
doesn't, if
gone.
nobody brings it up to her, is she gonna say, "Yeah, I've been on a bunch of shows"?
Felicia walked right over to her like she just left Bible study. She was like, "Hey, girl, like, stop it, stop it." They know each other, or at least she knows her.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that she could be just targeted early on. Like I don't see how she would be bad at Big Brother.
I mean, I don't know. Like I have no idea, but it'll be interesting to see her strategy play out on the live feeds in real time without an edit. Like we don't know.
So, all right. Well, let me give a sober sort of assessment of the scouting report of Cirie. And because I do feel like that if there is going to be sort of like one chink in the armor of Cirie, that I do feel like that she can get a little bit dug in on a position and doesn't always compromise. That we have seen this happen to her in Survivor Heroes versus Villains. Cirie has 3 incredibly deep runs into 3 different Survivor seasons. Some incredibly bad luck ends up happening to her in her first 2 Survivor seasons, and then in Survivor Game Changers. She ends up being a pre-merge boot in an all-star season. It happens to the best of us, okay? But she ends up getting like really dug in on sides. She can be a little bit inflexible at times. We saw this come up during the Traders as well, where she really dug in her heels about that Cody and Ryan Lochte knew each other from outside of the game. I interviewed Cirie about this during, I think it was during Survivor 43 and we talked about that, and she had said that actually Stephanie LaGrossa insisted that was the case. Ryan Lochte got a mention here tonight. So there can be times where Cirie can become a little bit intractable about something, where if she really believes it, maybe to her detriment, maybe that's the one place where we've seen her have a little bit of a weakness. Otherwise, that I think she's born to play Big Brother more so than Survivor.
I think that like her biggest danger points are immediately before she's had a chance to really like dig in and create relationships. If her reputation precedes her, and the fact that she has a son there gets revealed and all of that, like I could easily see a target being put on her early. That's not a great place to be, obviously. I think she has the chops to get out of it, but you never know with all the various twists going on in the early weeks. And then of course at the end game, that's another danger point. But yeah, I would think like the worst case scenario for Cirie is just something going wrong early game, the wrong person getting power. She just, ends up on the block somewhere before she's had a chance to really make these relationships. Wouldn't be ideal.
And Cirie is a bit of a gambler. She is, known to take a big swing. A lot of times it works out in her favor, but there are some times where, certainly like at the end of the Traders, she makes a rather bold move there that ends up working in her favor. Spoiler alert. In Survivor Game Changers, she was attempting a very bold move where she was going to play Sarah Lacina's, I believe, extra vote, where Sarah Lacina let her hold it. And then ultimately that didn't work out because it was non-transferable. So that Cirie is going to take some big swings also. So if we see her get far enough into the game, we could see some really big moves. But this is just, I saw some people in the chat saying like, hey, do they know there's other people in the show? Yes, we do. But this is first off, to this person, Depez Poopsie, there's actually 16 other house guests. Okay.
Put your wrong ass.
Yeah.
This is like if Dr. Will was like introduced as a player, like we would be talking about Dr. Will, because that is the level that we are talking about.
I think the tough thing is that we haven't seen the other house guests do anything yet. And so all we have to work off of is like, we have one house guest who we've seen play before in some sort of reality show. And then we have everyone else who we've not seen anything of. I guess I'll just say that like, as far as getting to know the house guests more, I did really appreciate the way that they did the intro videos this time. They seemed like, I don't know, a little bit less cheesy and a little bit more about like getting to know them. And I especially think because it wasn't just a rehash of what we've seen. Sometimes they do intro videos and they put them online beforehand and then they just like replay them. I'm glad we got to see new stuff from the house guests. And I'm just really excited about the cast. I feel like I was thinking about it as they were playing in the boring competition part. And I was thinking like, I don't want anyone to go home. There's like, not yet. There's nobody who I could pick out and be like, yeah, they can go. I feel like I'm interested to see all of them play. And I think all of them can bring something good to the table.
Yeah.
So
It's a
much,
great
Rob.
cast. It's a great cast. But Melissa, we've known about them for 3 days
Can we
now.
have a
Yeah.
moment, please, to process this? We've done drafts. We've done a recap. Look, Taran has gone live. Rob has gone live. Melissa, y'all have gone live talking about these people. And I get to go live talking about Sari. You got to sit down, Doopsie Poopsie or whatever their name is. Listen to me. First of all, Taran, you bring
I
up a good
tried,
point.
chat. I tried.
You did. You bring up a good point, Taran. This is like dropping Dr. Will in the Big Brother house. But imagine Dr. Will's pale ass on Survivor. Like, could you imagine the Survivor player be like, what are you going to do out here? And to the point of like Sari potentially going home very early. Pendant of protection. We've done these shenanigans before.
Right.
Melissa brought up BB19 with Paul. They got a little pass. Let's give Sari a little wiggle room here. Let's give her some room to play. She can save her son, get a little advantage. If America has the vote, not the America in the house,
Not
but
that
us
America.
Yeah, if we got a vote, we gonna make this happen. We gonna keep Sari around. Oh, make no mistake. That's going down. But yes, there are other house guests. We just don't know nothing about them except they know how to kick each other in the ass or kick themselves in the ass. I'm sorry, we don't got that much to talk about.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what they did here tonight, because, of course, we've got the multiverse happening, and they didn't really set up how Sari ended up on Big Brother they didn't really explain how the Survivor Big Brother multiverse has crossed. She's just here, whatever. But Taran, we got, instead of a person who's going to be in the HOH competition, we've seen this in all the other live premieres of somebody wins, they move on. The 4 people who won the competitions compete for who's going to be the HOH. We end up with 4 people nominated. Luckily, not a night 1 eviction. But how are you feeling about this reverse where the nomination selected on night 1?
I hate it. First of all, stop stealing from Big Brother Canada. Like, it was tacky even when they were good, and now they're not. We don't need that. Second, it's just another iteration of like, I mean, it's not as bad as a night 1 eviction, but it's kind of similar where it's just like, we don't even know these people. Like, just from a TV perspective, we don't even know these people yet. Is anybody watching the episode like, oh yeah, glad Jared is the nominee? Like, like everybody's watching like, oh no, I wanted to see that person play, and now they're already nominated. We know what it means to be nominated immediately, to be nominated in the first week. It's a huge disadvantage in the game. It really limits your social ability. We're never really going to be able to see these people play naturally because they are starting from a defensive position, and that's really unfortunate. And so there's a lot of reasons why this really just felt off to me, and not very good TV, and not very good for the game, and just completely unnecessary. Just give us an HOH comp.
Yeah. Also, speaking of not good TV, that laying down competition, like no one did anything, and you just were like, I didn't even recognize that they were like being pulled at all. I was just like, everyone's just laying there, and then they're like zooming in on their fingers. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
As somebody that's been working on my rock climbing, I'm down for that being a comp if I ever play, but on TV it was terrible. Like,
there was no indicator of like how they were doing or who was being pulled. It was just like, oh, I guess someone's not touching it anymore. I don't know.
I was streaming during the episode, and I said, we're not even going to see who, like, I'm just waiting to see somebody drop, and I knew we're not even going to see who drops because they're so focused on one person at a time. It's going to happen off screen, and lo and behold, it did.
Okay, so it ends up being Corey Wartenberger, who ends up being the person who has been sucked away into
The nether region.
The nether region. We don't know
They
when we
couldn't
will
call
see
it the
him
nether
again.
world. Like instead, it's like the nether region. It's like oh
nether
my
region.
God.
Yes.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, we had the nether
Sucked
region.
right in.
Goo bombs.
Yeah. It was all happening in the Big Brother premiere. But I am very worried about Corey Wartenberger as being the first player evicted from the season. I think that he not only is he on the block, but he is also not part of everything that's going on. And I am very concerned about Corey Wartenberger.
Yeah, the only thing that could make this like okay is if he gets sucked into another world and then he gets some power, or like then he like I don't know, is gone for 5 minutes or something. Like I don't know, I just feel like being gone for any amount of time that automatically gives everyone else a chance to be like, look, like let's just vote him out. He's not here. We're all bonding. We all have time to create alliances and create relationships, and this guy doesn't. So we won't miss him. Bye. It's just so bad. It's like Sam with the robot costume all over again.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't even concerned when Corey like was dragged to hell. I was doing things in the house, like, oh, okay, another competition lost, whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, obviously he's fine and like they've moved on. And then right before the break, Julie says, and what do you find out what happened to Corey? I was like, what do you mean what happened to Corey? Why is he the only one who has to have some type of random fate?
He was
Yeah,
part
why
of the
couldn't it be all of
Scaryverse.
them? Why
The
couldn't it be all
Scaryverse.
of them? Like, why couldn't all 4 nominees, like, okay, now all 4 nominees do whatever weird thing they're going to do?
Yeah, why Corey? I was like, this feels a little targeted. And Corey, Black Belt Corey, the challenge is hold on. And you're laying down. And I'm not judging you because this would be the worst challenge for me. I'm done. I am done. I got back issues. I'm out. I'm in hell. But Corey, they kept zooming in on that other guy. Can't think of his name because he's not Sari. Yeah, him. And he's only holding on with one hand. Like at some point, his hand is just kind of laying on top of the little rock. And then boom, Corey just zips out to the. What did they do to him? They just like Michigan J Frog snatched his ass across the room. Like, it's really weird. I was like, what is happening? So I am worried about Corey. I thought things might go better for him. I'm really hoping there's not a Wartenberger curse because I like them both, but it's not looking great.
Yeah.
I would say Corey is my top pick to be first one out at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
By a decent margin.
By a considerable margin. I think that he's got to win the veto. He's got to hope that somebody that likes him becomes the HOH. How do we think the HOH is going to work? Do we think that there will be an HOH who will then, of the 4 nominees, decide which 2 ultimately sit on the block?
Oh, maybe.
I would assume so. Similar to the backstage boss situation. So, and then that would give the HOH some power, and then name the replacement as well with the veto.
Would they let the 4 nominees compete in the HOH competition, and where if they become HOH, that they automatically could get off the block?
I don't think that hurts.
That'd be too
that
fair.
would be good.
I think.
I mean, that would be like actually good. So
I mean, because then you would have at least 2 chances to get off the block between playing in the HOH and then also the veto. Like, it would be very unfair you don't even get to play in the first HOH and you're on the block.
Right.
Yeah, and like maybe the veto is like a safety competition or something. So it's like they did do an HOH between the 4 of them, then a safety between the 3 of them, and then you've got your 2 remaining nominees. Like, I feel like that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah, but we can't use the F word here on Big Brother. Like,
No.
who said Big Brother was fair? A man just walked into the house and then his mama walked in 3 minutes later. And not just any mama, the mother. She just walked in. I'm sorry, this is different.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I don't care. As long as Sari and Jared are there next week, hopefully Corey's there. I'm sorry. It is just, I can't lose these people.
It is so weird that they cast her son with her.
Right. Isn't that odd?
Like, because of the order it was introduced to us, I feel like it feels less weird than it is. But like, if they were all introduced at once and it was like, Sari is on the cast. Oh my God. And her son too?
Yeah, so can we talk that through for a minute? So, okay, that I would imagine that, okay, Jared was in the casting mix. They're going to cast Jared And then maybe at some point, does somebody just say, like, hey, why don't we just cast Cirie also?
This feels like it was Cirie's
Or
idea.
hey, Rob, you talked about how Cirie sometimes, she wants a thing and she sticks.
She planted the seed.
Did
Planted the
Cirie?
seed.
I've been comparing her a little bit to Dr. Did Cirie pull a Dr. Will and say, "You want me? You're taking my son too."
Because
I
I
thought it was
just
the
don't know.
opposite.
If you wanted Cirie, why cast Jared also? You didn't need to cast Jared if you had Cirie.
Dear God.
Maybe she wanted.
Nothing
maybe it was
against
like.
Jared.
Well, I mean, it could just be like it's 100 days in a house. Like, maybe she was like, I'd like to have my son there. I don't know.
I'll miss my son.
I'll miss him too much.
No, I think
I don't know.
I think they wanted Jared. I think they had Jared in their sight. Jared might have even applied. They went to Jared, and then Jared's like, "Mom, I'm getting through casting on Big. I'm going to be on Big Brother." And so he's like, "Girl, give me that phone." Like, hello.
Yeah, like
Les.
I mean, were they casting during that time when Cirie was doing like promo stuff and saying interviews and everything and saying that she would go on Big Brother? Like, was it like, oh, we're already looking at Jared, and then she said that and it was like,
Oh no, that was way too long ago for them to
that's
already
too
be looking
no,
at
okay,
Jared.
I don't know. It's just those clips go around all the time.
She made the call. She said,
Yeah,
"Well,
I'm imagining.
Jared, she probably just popped in on the Zoom. You ever been on a Zoom call? Let's just for the listeners. You ever been on a Zoom call and then like a random relative like walks into the background? So Reed just kind of probably like mosey like, oh, is that Big Brother casting? Hi, it's me, Cirie. Yeah, I would love to come on. Oh, you didn't ask? Well, I'll be there. She knows what she wants. Taryn's right. I think she made this happen.
And
I'm
we don't think
imagining
there's
her-
any chance that the other house guests all have a connect with somebody
No
in
way.
the house.
No, because
Okay.
then Zach Werdenberger would be on the show.
Or maybe Corey knows.
Who, by the way,
someone
got no
else.
mention.
Who got no
Yeah,
mention?
I know.
See, people thought I was being shady the other night when I was asking,
No,
like, do you think
it's-
that they will make Zach part of the story? And I feel like that the Big Brother producer is like, no, we're already doing the related to a Survivor thing with Jared. We're just not going to talk about that.
I think the fact that
seems so
Cirie's
weird.
on the cast,
Yes.
it was like, that's too much Survivor.
Too much Survivor. But I think that if it comes up as part of the story where Corey clocks something, then I think that like what people didn't know is my brother was on Survivor and then retcon
Do you think he'll just say like, oh, well, I'm just a really big fan of Survivor? And just like not even bring up that his brother was on the show. Like,
see, what we have not clocked yet to this point, and now where I don't think that Jared would recognize Corey, I definitely think that Cirie would say, you look very familiar. I'm sure that Cirie knows who Zach Werdenberger is.
but would
Probably
she
knows
know
who Zach
Corey?
is, but would she recognize his brother?
He looks a lot
do you think
like
they've
him.
met?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know
I
if they
don't.
look
I
enough
wouldn't
like
put
him.
together the
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah,
But maybe they've like met each other.
This is Cirie we're talking
Yeah.
about, okay?
Well, that's the thing. It's not about whether or not Cirie knows Zach Werdenberger. Corey's about to throw himself at her mercy. If Cirie walks in the house, this man is a Survivor fan. We know his brother was on the show. And I'm on the block. The first thing I'm doing is making a beeline to Cirie. Like, Cirie, how do you save me and Jared? Me and Jared and you. We got this thing. Yeah, I can keep them off y'all's back. I know, what they don't know. XYZ. That's the move. How is there any other move left? If you know who Cirie is, you have to get help because you're on the block.
Yeah. Honestly, the worst part about Corey being sucked into the nether region is that Corey would have had a reaction to, like, Corey would have given us what we needed. And then his reaction would have helped other people react properly, I think. Squealing would have been going on, I would imagine.
It felt like
and then
Felicia
What?
recognized her.
Yeah, for sure.
It
She walked right
seemed
over
like
to
she
her.
did. 'Cause she went right over and was like excited. It wasn't
I mean,
just like
Felicia
hello.
said that she's been a day one Big
Right.
Brother fan, so I have to think that
you
over
don't
the
watch
years,
Big Brother
But
without
Felicia was like
Survivor.
super chill about it. She was just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Mhm.
Whereas I feel like Corey would have been like, "Sorry."
Yeah. Although I don't know if
But
he's
maybe
as
that's
big
just
of
your
a Survivor
personality.
fan as he is a Big Brother fan, but I think he definitely would know,
He would.
especially
He would.
considering how big of a Survivor fan his brother is. I think he definitely would have clocked it immediately.
I mean, like, I haven't watched Survivor in a few years now, and like I know Cirie. Like, I for sure know Cirie. So I mean, I don't know, maybe people don't. I mean, but I feel like most people who watch Survivor would know who she was, even just by like people referring to her or talking about her or whatever.
Taran,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, what's it more embarrassing? Your brother coming on the show and not mentioning you at all, or your brother coming on the show and then not knowing who Cirie Fields is? If I'm Zach, I'm off. Like, I'm done. What are we doing here? You got to, you know, just if he's in another region, keep him, because I don't need him no more.
Yeah.
He got to know who Cirie is.
All right. Taran, I'd love to talk through what we think the schedule for the week is going to look like now at this point. So we come away from night number 1. We don't have an HOH competition. Do you think that we're going to see HOH during the day on Thursday?
It would be a quick turnaround. There was a lot set up back there for them to like rip that all down.
Could it
and set
happen
up
tonight? I mean, they're advertising the feeds coming on. I can't imagine that they're going to do, unless they run the HOH competition in between now and when the feeds go up.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that for them to do it tomorrow, they would have to overnight tear everything down and build up a new comp for them to do it tomorrow. So it's I don't know, unless there was already something set up back there, which is definitely possible because the competitions were very segmented, and then it could be at any point.
Yeah. All right. Well, we still have to get through the HOH competition. Then we're going to have our nominations also. Usually, you know, all of that happens by Friday on a typical week. We will have an episode coming up on Sunday night. So sometime in the next 48 hours, we're going to have our HOH competition. We're going to have our nominations. And Taran, no mention of a special competition that is going to be taking place this season yet.
Not yet. I imagine they don't need one, certainly for this week with all of the extra, you know, bad you lose, go on the block comps that just happened. Last season was the first season that they didn't have any of those. They had lots of 2-part HOHs, which seems to be in line with what they're doing here, which is like, oh, we're doing this and then we're going to do an HOH. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they kept with that theme and didn't really have an extra comp, which I'd be very okay with.
Okay. Let's talk through what we took away from tonight real quick. Let's just go through everybody's intros and talk about our new 16 cast members that we met. There was a lot of talk, a lot of people running rampant with theories over the last couple of days. None of them really came into play, with the exception of Cirie being into the house. One idea was the idea of the house being split into two sides, either pink and blue or red and blue. And when they started the show off tonight with, here's blue, here's red. Here we go. It's happening.
Thing.
Not a drill.
I was like, this is it.
I have to say, Melissa, I thought it was bizarre the way that they edited these packages together, because it was like, all right, here's red getting his key, and then cut to blue, and here's her package. It's like, why were we getting it
I
thought
the exact same thing
already?
And then it was so weird because it was like in a totally other package with like 3 other house guests. It was like, then you'd see one of the people from the original package getting in the car and driving away and waving goodbye to their family. I was like, what is the order here? Like, why are we doing it this way?
Typically, the way that they have done it for many, many years is like they break them into 4s, and you see like all 4 people like getting their keys, and then you meet them one by one. But I think that maybe somebody got the memo late that they weren't doing that, and it ends up being a little confusing. But we were able to follow it. All right, Blue. We didn't know a lot about Blue. Blue got 27 seconds of video before tonight, and we learned a little bit more about Blue. Taran, how are we feeling about Blue?
You know, I don't remember.
She has 33 tattoos.
I feel a lot better about her. Well, I guess it's mainly because like we're seeing more than just I'm gonna go in there and be crazy. You know, it's like I'm very glad we got more of like a real person, and we got to learn more about her. And you know, I liked what I saw. I was into it.
Chappell, she said that she may get into a showmance, or to make it spicy, a love triangle.
Why'd you ask me that question? Why'd you direct that to me?
Hey, you know,
I just want to know if you caught that.
No, I might have missed it, Rob. No, of course, it's the only thing I got in my notes, Rob. She said, okay, she's down for a good time. Okay, I'm happy we getting more Blue content.
Well,
you know, because
you always bring Blue content.
Rob, again, the shots fired. Boom, boom, bang. Like, okay, damn, get your foot off my neck. Unless you're gonna post that shirtless picture again, Rob. I see you. But anyway, I think that
content.
yeah, speaking of blue, but all that to say, we didn't get a lot of blue beforehand, right? And it did. So I think the rumor is that she's an alternate or something like that, right? And so maybe in a couple days when the feeds get going and they start talking more about like, their casting experience or whatever, she'll like let it slip what happened. But I was happy with what we got to see.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got Red. Got a little more Red, and of course, guess what Red can do? Okay.
I'm fine as a frog hair, split 4 ways on a Friday. That's a Redism right there. Or busier than a skater at a nudist colony, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. I mean, I could just keep going for days.
If you have a bunch of country folkisms, Big Brother cannot not cast you.
They love it.
They love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like they tried to force it with Jasmine, right? I think they had the authentic version with Donnie. I think they got Donnie. Donnie was the guy, and then James is kind of like in that realm somewhere. I think Frenchie. Frenchie, I think, was the first one who was kind of like putting it on a little bit more, and then Jasmine was just full on code switch. Like when she's in one room, she's this, and when she gets on there, Julie, we got the butter beans and the bitch cobbler. It's like this guy. He's the real deal. This is him. He's a moonshiner from Tennessee. I trust him. I trust whatever those little euphemisms are and things that he's saying. Take it at face value.
Did he say
God
he
knows.
was hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit?
I think so.
I don't know.
You're in a skater at a nudist colony, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. I mean, I could just keep going for days.
Yeah. Too bad Corey Wertenberger wasn't hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
He's a chillbilly.
Yeah, but what is the hair in the biscuit? Like, what does that mean?
Can't get it out.
Can you? I'm sorry. That one missed me. The first one was more interested. A skeeter.
A skeeter in the nudist colony. Would you rather go to a nudist colony and fight a million mosquitoes or one giant skeeter at the nudist colony?
Oh, you said mosquito. Oh,
skeeter.
Yeah.
Skeeter.
No, yeah. Be careful. Blue contact. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet and a nudist colony for a skeeter.
Right. Before a mosquito. Okay, cool. I heard skeeter. Wow. Okay, continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
take a moment and let that all sink in.
Okay. Will do. All right.
It's
all right, we got Jared. We talked a lot about Jared. Oh, chat. We're talking about Jared Fields again.
Not this again.
Not this again. What? Okay. All right. Melissa, he's an exterminator. Oh, is this a BB15 reference?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How else are you going to get rid of those skeeters in the nudist colony?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. And we got the setup of course that okay, oh, my mom is helping me. Boy.
Yeah. I feel like they really gave his whole intro to Suri. I feel like I don't know anything about Jared. I just know that his mom is Suri and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That Chappell, if Jared Fields ends up being the Katie Collins of the season, is anybody going to complain?
No, not at all. As look, Tina almost won. I'm just saying, if Katie gotta go, I'm sorry, Jared. Look, I love Pooh. I do. He's cool, but he has a very famous mom, and you can't not talk about it.
Taran, we couldn't be headed towards Julie, I very sadly vote to evict my mom.
Son.
You don't think?
My son.
Stop. You don't think that he could have like a Sierra Easton type? He voted out his mom.
I should hope not.
Right. What a bad move, Rob. The way the internet, the world will turn against you. You voted out your mom, sir.
Cancel.
Hang it up. She needs new kids. It's Suri. It's Suri. Suri, if he votes you out, I'll be your Jared now. I'll be your new son.
That's why the key is if you are cast on a season, if you're cast on a season that has a Big Brother or a Survivor legend that everybody loves, it would be a bad move. And everyone can say that I'm wrong, but I know it would be a bad move to vote them out right away because you will be hated by the world. And I don't think that sort of flack is worth it. I think the key is you work with them till like midway through the season, maybe a little bit further than that. And that's when you say like, look, like as much as I love working with Cirie and I love her so much, like I just know I'm not going to win this game against her. So the audience already likes you because you've been working with their fave and you've been like doing stuff for them and keeping them around. Yeah. And then that's when you turn and the audience will be supportive of you because they'll be like, it has to happen. We all get it.
Taran, how did that go for Shelley Moore in BB13?
The audience will never be supportive of you. If anything, you got to rip the Band-Aid off early, so you got plenty of time for them to forget about it.
Cody ended up like parlaying it into a fan favorite to be the only person to actually like go against Paul from early on, but the audience ended up turning on Paul by the end of the season, and it was too late for anybody else to do anything except for Josh at the last second. So this is kind of an untenable situation for the other players.
Right. That's why it's so hard. I feel like it makes it so difficult because it's like, well, we don't want a situation where it's a Paul where they just like run the house and everybody is it's just week after week. It doesn't even matter. It's not fun to watch because everyone's just like, oh, it's my turn to go, I guess. Bye. And you don't want a situation where everyone just like gangs up and gets Cirie out right away because then it's like, okay, we don't even get to see Cirie play. There's no win.
You bring her to the final 3, you win the final 3 HOH, and then you topaz yourself on purpose and accidentally evict her to bring somebody else to the final 2. Oh my! What? I meant to. I meant to bring Cirie.
That's crazy.
What? Yeah. No! Now I win. Oh, shucks.
Melissa does bring up a good point, and the people, these super fans, right? Day one fans, all these other people. Not you, Izzy. I'm sorry, I'll say it, not you. You know, we sit through these preseason interviews every year, and we hear the same question. Remember, would you like to win the game and be hated, or lose the game and be loved? And this season, this is the $1 million question, because like you could lose this game, and if you let hoist Cirie up to the next round, we're like a queen, an icon, you know, like who else? Who would it?
Yeah.
You know, who among us? But if you pull some shenanigans, y'all remember is it what's the Survivor season where Aubrey and all of them came back?
Game Changers?
No.
Edge of Extinction.
Edge of Extinction, right? Remember when Victoria and them started making all their back alley moves, get rid of Aubrey and stuff, and we were like, whoa, hold on, baby, slow down. You're getting rid of the faves that we like. People still don't talk about that season. I'm just saying, look, it's not the worst season, but it ain't at the top of nobody's record.
That's not why.
It didn't help. It did not help. So I think Melissa's right. I think you kind of I think in any other world we say get the vets out. They're going to steamroll the game. But if you ever see me rooting against Cirie Fields in any game, it's not me. If she has one fan left on this earth, it's me. I'm the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah,
that's why it's so tough for the house guests that are currently in it. It really it just messes up the whole dynamic of the house at this point. And any strategy that you had coming in, you're gonna have to switch it up. And you know, it'll be interesting to see how it works. But I do feel bad for them because this is certainly not a good situation.
Yeah. Oh, things got a lot harder for these house guests tonight.
Well, that's what I was saying on Twitch as I was watching. Like, these people just walked into their doom and they didn't even acknowledge her. Like, they don't know how bad this is for them. They haven't even recognized it.
All right, Lynn, let's talk it through for a second, okay? Just to bring it back to Cirie for one more moment, if I may, here on Rob Has a Podcast. So Cirie's chances to win the game. Okay, let's go around. Okay, Taran.
Like out of
percent chance as of right now, 100 days from now, we're talking about Cirie as the winner of Big Brother.
Okay, well, if everyone has like roughly like a 6% chance to win, 1 of 16, I'll go like it's 1 of 17.
Yeah, it's like 5.8%. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Then Cirie probably has like 10 times those odds.
So you think
I'd give her like 60%.
60% chance that she's the winner of the season tonight.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Experienced players have a significant advantage over inexperienced players. We've seen that before, both on Survivor and Big Brother. Players who have played these games before have gone to the end almost every time. So I think she has a very good chance. I do think that Big Brother is going to be a little tougher than Survivor, again, because the comps are so important, weirdly. You would expect it to be the opposite, but I do think that she's got a great, I think 50 to 60% is not too wild.
I think that's pretty wild. I think that's very high. I think that she has a better than most chance, but I would say I feel like that she has around, I would say probably closer to like a 15 to 20% chance to win. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in 100 days. I totally could see a scenario where she puts Jared first, and a Jared win, I think, for her is just as good as a win for herself. And so I think that that's part of the equation. And so I do think that there could be a double eviction where she goes home. So, I mean, there's still 16 other people that are not, we did not think these people were slouches. This isn't BB19 with the zombies that were there with Paul that were all Mactors. Like, I think that people have seen BB19, and I do think that this will be a formidable challenge for Cirie. I don't think this will be a cakewalk as good as Cirie is. I mean, if Cirie was, if they like did the Men in Black thing to everybody, and Cirie was able to come in with her talents and skills that she has, I think that maybe I might say 60, 70%.
100%. Cirie,
but
just talent alone.
She is going to have her work cut out for her, for sure, I think.
Yeah. But I think you're totally right. I think I could absolutely see a scenario where she like sacrifices her own game for Jared, you know, because then it's like she's not really losing. She's doing this for her son. And I feel like that would be a win to her. So, you know, I could totally see that happening.
Okay.
Hashtag not my Cirie. My Cirie's taking him out, and she's going to win the game because she's going to take him out. She's going to vote him out because I don't know. I've seen Cirie play plenty of shows, and rarely has she ever been like, "I'm doing this for my son." That's a Jeremy Collins move. That's a Boston Rob carrying his family.
He hasn't mentioned it that many times. Yeah.
Cirie got off the couch, and she about to go get back on the couch. She about to win this game. Let me tell you something. Okay. 60%, it does sound lofty, but I do think we have to take in the precedent of all these other seasons, right? Not only does she know somebody, which, boom, propels you basically to the finals.
They know each other.
She's a veteran player. Tommy's aunt's sister's girlfriend was in the house, and they basically just floated on to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just knowing somebody is enough to get you far. Then to know a relative. We've seen siblings coming. We've literally seen twins that got found out week 2 get far into the game. You know, this is Cirie. I do think 60 sounds high, but there's also a former 4-time social strategy game player at 4 and plus, probably. Cirie's probably played so many of these little offhand Jordan Kalish games and stuff. You know, she does that kind of stuff. This is not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? So 60 sounds high, but if you take Cirie over the field, you're gonna take the field, really?
Yeah. Okay. So Chappell is saying
130%.
150,000 goddamn percent. You know, look, no, I'm not saying it's 100% chance. All I'm saying is I know that sounds high, but look at how many things are already working in her favor, and then it's Big Brother. They might just hand her safety for 4 weeks.
The biggest thing for me is looking at the history of this format where you introduce one former player and a sea of new players. Jesse came and was dominating season 11 until the cheated happened.
They cheated Jesse out of the game.
That was Jesse. Paul came back and was like a complete puppet master in season 19 in that spot. Multiple times we've seen it on Survivor. It's very rare for somebody in this position to actually do poorly. So and then we were talking about not Jesse, we're talking about Cirie. So yeah, that's why at this stage, you
make fair points. Melissa, you want to give us your number?
Well, I think you guys are right. I mean, we also saw Jason do that as well when he came back. So,
Yes.
I mean, and even in that situation, like once another, like Chappell was saying, the sibling thing in Big Brother or like the relative thing in Big Brother is huge. I mean, we saw Alex and Morgan won the game. It was so helpful to have someone there to bounce ideas off of that you knew you could trust. It's why showmances tend to do very well. Just because you have somebody there with a connection outside of the game, you know, that you just can really just bounce ideas off of and fully, it's very meaningful to have someone there that you can actually trust. So I think that there are a lot of things working in Cirie's favor. The relative thing, the, you know, player with experience coming in with a house of all newbies. I think both those things are huge. You know, for me though, I do feel like 60% is really high just because, you know, it's Big Brother and there are so many twists and turns. There's so many different factors. We have not seen Cirie play Big Brother. Like in a situation that we're talking about, we've seen Jason play Big Brother. We've seen, you know, Jesse play Big Brother, Paul play Big Brother, and then they come back and they dominate. We have not seen Cirie play Big Brother. And, you know, Big Brother is a different game than Survivor. It is a different game than the Traitors. I'm assuming. I haven't seen it, but I would assume. And so I just feel like there is a difference. And so we really don't know. I don't think it's the same exact thing, but she certainly has some advantages. I would say probably around like maybe 40% chance that
40%.
I think the core mistake that's being made here is that I can already see, like literally in my head, Cirie has the confetti already raining down on her. So I don't know if
so
you
we're
can't
just
see that,
wrong.
like if it's just like an imagination issue on your end, but like.
Taran's right again. No, I'm joking. But listen, Melissa makes some very good points because one of the things about Survivor is it's a shorter game, right? So they don't see Cirie coming. They're just happy that she got off the couch. She, you know, she's narrowly avoiding these things. She's finding herself in these situations, pulling off crazy vote splits and stuff like that. This is Big Brother. It's 100 days. At some point, someone's gonna look over and be like, Cirie's still on the couch. Why? And I just don't think that's going to go well. Like, I think at some point, even anybody would just be like, it's been 5 weeks and Cirie is still here. What are we doing?
Yeah. So I guess when we're talking about this question, this is not like in any way like a knock on Cirie, but that the competition, when we talk about like what Boston Rob did and like what Jason did, what Paul did, like, those were some of the like not greatest casts. A lot of recruits, people that
chicken or egg, though, you know, were they not the best cast, or were they made to look stupid because they were playing against a returning player?
I think it could be both. And especially like in the case where we talk about Survivor Redemption Island, that, you know, that these infamously, I mean, these are people that were just like led to the slaughter by somebody. And I do feel like that these players in this season will not just go down without a fight for Cirie.
Yeah. Do we think there's any chance that this is all like a fake out and they meant like the 17th house guest? Like, yeah, like this is just the 17th house guest, but really she's just a house guest and then she's going to leave next week. And then maybe we'll bring in another person who's a legend.
We join the writer's strike at that point.
And then, I mean, like, I'm just going to be really, I mean, if this turns out to just be like a way with words that they used where it's like, oh, well, we called her a house guest, but really she's just in the house or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I was listening closely. Julie said, that's right. Cirie will be playing Big Brother. That's what she said. She didn't say, yes, Cirie has entered the house for a little bit. Cirie is in the Big Brother house. She said, we'll be playing the game. So I'm like, okay.
Maybe she's playing for a week. Maybe there's like a legend slot or something. And like new people will be coming in each week. Like it's like they keep tagging in.
You have to keep people in sequester that they've seen the feeds. Like, they can't do that.
No, but I think Melissa has a point because it's the scramble thing, right? Who's to say it doesn't scramble again and then boom, Cirie's gone, and now you have, you know, Davon coming back, like woo, coming through like that.
And it's like, what's gonna happen with Davon in the house this week or something? You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I think she's making some points right there, you know. But here's the thing: I think betting on Cirie
is this? Stars on Mars?
Look, you bet on Cirie. Because if Cirie wins, then you were on the right side of history. And if she loses, she was robbed, she was screwed, Cirie had it in the bag. There was no way she was ever going to win. There are so many excuses why Cirie won't win this game, and I'm ready to make them all. But if she wins the game, put Put a pin in this. Forget a draft.
Chappelle
we
called it.
Yeah,
Chappelle
Taran called it. We called it. You know what I'm saying? 60%. That's high. It's ridiculous. But also, do you want to be the person who questions Cerise's ability? Like a fool? Like, why would you do that? So I don't know. I'm betting on Cerise, but 60% is steep.
I can't wait for all the YouTube comments to be like, oh, I'm just mad that they didn't take their percentage guess about how a player would win seriously enough, even though there's nothing to analyze it on.
Yeah, we don't know literally anything.
Like,
we don't know
compare
anything.
this to any other premiere podcast. We're cooking right now.
We're doing great. Up until 89 minutes, I'm like, I don't think we have like 40 minutes of show here. But I just want to, be fair in talking about, because I do think that there's going to be a lot of pushback. I feel like that we're going to see there's a lot of excitement about Cerise. And I think there's also going to be a lot of complaining about how this isn't fair. The season is rigged, that they're trying to make Cerise win. And I am just trying to point out that even though Cerise is such a great player, that I think that there will be an incredibly hard degree of difficulty for Cerise still to get this done. So I don't want to take the wind out of anybody's sails who thinks that, okay, well, basically the season is a foregone conclusion here on night one.
So one thing that the chat has brought up is that, if Cerise goes to the chat for the draft and Cerise wins, we had said that if the chat wins the draft, then we will shut down the channel.
No, we said if Red won. If Red won, yeah.
Mike Bloom did make an offer on Twitter to exchange a player for Cerise, and I did raise my hand to take that offer. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't know Mike Bloom was the commissioner of our draft.
Well, why didn't you?
I officially nominated him 24 hours ago.
I think you're right, Rob. I think Cerise always has a hard time in these games. I think she's just so skilled, right? But I think, this is Cerise in a really tight spot. She has her son there, which is also a liability. It helps, but it can hurt. And then she's also well known. Somebody knows her for sure. Someone's going to say something. She played a lot of games. She never played this game. There's a lot of stuff stacked against her as well. But someone like me, I'm a fan, and I just hope that she does well. But I could see, her having some problems. Like, I even feel like stuff like the traders is hard for Cerise because she has to hide that she's the big bad wolf, and she has to do that stuff for 100 days now. That's got to be tough. How does Cerise pull off the 3-2-1s and all this kind of stuff? The crazy Survivor Cerise magic, and then get away with it. That's what I'm willing to go look for.
Look, I just want to make sure, let's enjoy the ride, because I mean, Taran, could you imagine like a scenario like 6-7 years ago if we found out that like we're gonna live in the world one day where we're gonna be watching Cerise play Big Brother?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll say this again just to help everyone understand where my head is at. This is something that I, like, in my wildest imagination have wanted to see for years, for maybe like over a decade. Like, this is the like when you fan cast your favorite show, or like when you're just like, I would like put in this is the pick, this is the person that I would want to see. Cerise is that person. Like, I've always wanted to see, not even just to see like her play the game, but even if she doesn't do well or doesn't win, just to see her operate on the live feeds, to get a much better understanding of this person who genuinely has a claim for one of the best people to ever play these games ever, is so exciting and really fun. So there are, of course, going to be complainers, and there are going to be complainers who are like, we're not even allowed to complain. We're not allowed to like Cerise. Like, you're allowed to, do whatever you want.
Not like Cerise. It's a choice.
The world is fine.
Right. I did block a lady earlier who said there were bigger issues in the world, Taran. I'm sorry, there is no bigger issue than tonight. This is this is it.
Yeah, we're
fair,
actually accomplishing something. Yeah,
we'd have complainers in Big Brother anyway. It doesn't matter.
People complain about us defending Taylor. This what? Are you crazy? Yeah, they're dragging us. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always going to be there.
Let's talk through the rest of this group that we got to meet tonight. Call Chappell.
She's the one who was running in the heels, right?
Yeah, she did a great job. Oh my God. When she ran in those heels, I was like, oh, she's going to break her ankle. I'm very worried. And she did it. She did a great job.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's so impressive because she was so tapped in that she didn't even think take the shoes off. And I'm thinking, take the shoes off, woman. What are you
Take the
doing?
shoes off.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just
Oh my
man.
God.
I was afraid. Yeah, I'm with you. I thought she might have be about to hurt herself. We saw Jasmine play with a twisted ankle for half the season, but
Don't
running
forget
in heels
about
is.
Nashville and Halloween. Yeah.
I don't know them, but
Yeah.
just imagine just in the first challenge doing that in heels. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. She's a political consultant. She's drafted 6 federal policies. We got
I
to
felt
see
like
her
she was trying to
husband.
sell me like a politician sells me. I like Nicole. She's on my draft. I hope she does well. Anytime a politician talks about politicianing, I just get skeptical and mad.
Do you know about
Mad.
King George, Taran?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
It's his whole
Well,
thing.
That's his whole thing.
That's his
That's
brand.
his whole thing. He's like,
When you're
"As
like,
a
"I've done
political
6
operator." Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how many of those 6 things were actual things and how many of them are made up? And then she's like, well, one of the things is helping feed children healthy meals. And I'm like, okay, but how? And what? And how much are you charging them for it? Because I don't believe anything any politician says.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, maybe she's
Yeah.
born to play Big Brother. All right. Then we got to meet Matt. We got to see a lot about Matt and about how that he's a pro swimmer. His idol is former Big Brother celebrity house guest Ryan Lochte. He didn't
I
seem
thought he
to
was gonna-
acknowledge the fact.
Yes. I
that
thought he was
I'm
going to
like
say
my
something
hero.
about it. Like that
Mhm.
he was on the show or something. But then he just
I don't
like,
think he knows.
I don't think he
Yeah.
knows.
I don't think he
Yeah.
knows.
Mhm.
Look, no, I'm sorry. He probably knows. If this is his hero, then he know all the stuff that he done. So I think he's aware. It maybe even been something to motivate him to go on the show. You saw this swimmer that you look up to, and you're like, I could do that too. Representation matters, even in the swim world, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first deaf house guest. We learned he took 14 years of speech therapy to be able to speak. That he can lip read. And also, we found out though, single, ready to mingle.
Very single. Training to go to the Olympics 2024, which is very cool. It would be cool to have a pre-Olympic athlete on Big Brother rather than a post-Olympic athlete. And also, I my personal opinion as somebody who drafted Matt, put some sleeves on, dude. It's the first impression. You are so jacked and you look so incredibly strong. Like we don't need to be showing those off yet, wait a couple days.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. We met Izzy tonight, the professional flute player. Apparently 50 Cent told Izzy that her flute has groove.
Ooh, very groovy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She's the best flute player in New York, and so she said, look, flute players are having a bad day today.
I was
okay.
just about
So the best we got is Izzy right now. We just gonna have to ride or die with her for the time being because it's not looking great in the flute world right now.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. So Izzy, we met Izzy's girlfriend, Paige. Got to see a little bit of Izzy's life at her apartment, and Izzy is ready to go. All right.
Can we talk about Izzy for a second here?
Sure.
Because there was a brief scene at the very end of the episode after they walk in and see Suri, where we see Izzy and Jared huddling in the hallway, having an intense conversation. They do one of those promise kiss your hand things.
I think that's a flute motion, Taran. I think that's what you're...
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going to nether regions. I don't know.
The nether region.
It seemed to indicate to me that she was promising to not reveal Jared's connection, right? Like there was something going on. Either that, or
I don't know.
she was just saying, "I won't vote you out." But like,
Izzy became a Big Brother fan recently, as there's been much made about that, and has watched all of Big Brother. When
maybe
did
she
Izzy
also
have
watched all of
time?
Survivor.
it's possible that Izzy says that she watched all of Big Brother twice. When did she have time to go watch Survivor?
Well, Rob, the last 30 years that it's been on TV,
Yeah.
I don't know.
This could be the Survivor to Big Brother fan pipeline.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was a weird conversation to have if there wasn't something that prompted it, and I don't know what could have prompted it prior to that. They weren't like, she was up on the balcony and he was down below, so it wasn't like they were communicating during the competition.
This was after they saw Suri, or this was before?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went right by Suri and had the conversation in the hallway.
Did Izzy and Jared were they in a walk-in group together? Do we know?
That's a good question.
They
because it's possible that it was like, hey, we walked in together. You're on the block. Like,
it is possible.
That's possible too. Puya had a good point too. For all we know, Izzy watched Traitors that made her watch Big Brother. So that could also be a way into the Suri-averse as well. Traitors. A lot of people.
But
a lot of
fair,
people met Suri for the first time that are like Bravo watchers who were not watching the CBS reality shows.
So she watched Traitors. Go ahead, Melissa.
That doesn't necessarily explain like that she would know his connection to her. Like, would you automatically be like, this is her son if you've like just seen her in Traitors? Like, I mean, unless he was featured on the Traitors, like, I don't know, but I just feel like it's like you wouldn't automatically be like, oh my God. I think it would be, I don't know, something different than that.
Yeah, the Traitors was less than a year ago, right? So you telling me
it was in January?
Yes. Yeah, less than a year. She saw Suri on Traitors. Like, oh my God, I gotta go find out more about this Suri lady. So she went and watched all the seasons of Survivor, or at least the 4 that Suri is in, and it was like, and I still got time to watch 20-something seasons of Big Brother twice.
Hold on. More news coming in from our esteemed team of RHAP reporters. Maggie Morgan is reporting Izzy watched Survivor on her Instagram and has a photo in a buff.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's already a Survivor fan. So she already
Credit
she
to
walked
Maggie
in,
Morgan.
She walked in, saw Suri, saw Jared, and was like, and there it is. Project DNA.
Okay. All right.
Is it possible that like in the, because we only saw them see her, we didn't get all the conversations that were going on. Is it possible that he said like, that's my mom? Like, what's my mom doing here? Like, I mean,
it's possible, right? Like he said he said he planned to not tell anyone, but he also said that she wasn't going to play. And also people have gone in saying, I'm not going to tell people this, or I'm going to lie about this. And then they go in and they end up telling the truth right away. Like they just, like sometimes things just play out differently than you think they will. And you panic and you do stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, you just walk in the room, see Suri, and go, "Mom," like, oh,
yeah,
like, because it's gonna slip out eventually. Everybody's calling her Suri. The day you go, like, okay, so I pulled Suri into the diary room. You pulled who? I pulled my mom into the diary room, mama. I don't know. It does feel like Izzy might be hip to what's going on. I think a few people in the chat were saying Kirsten might have noticed as well, had to recognize Suri, and maybe we don't know enough to know if they put the connection together.
Okay. I want to get through everybody. We met Jag here tonight. I got to see a little bit more about Jag and his home life. First Sikh person to be playing Big Brother. He's very excited to be representing in the house. Going to come in and try to play kind of an airhead, Taran.
Yeah, I mean, I think his intro was just more of, I think, what we expected from him, which is good. Very good stuff. He seems super cool, and like he would be good at this. I really not much to add on that. Like it just seemed like solid stuff from Jag. I think he definitely has a good chance here.
Yeah.
He's trying to be an airhead, but he finished that puzzle very, very quickly. I mean, it was fast. I was like, oh crap. Okay. If I'm somebody who might be in danger, like a Felicia, I might bring that up. Like that person is super smart. He did this wacky Big Brother thing. Let's get him out. So, if he's going to lean into being an airhead, he might want to lean a little bit harder.
Felicia got left in the dust on the Goo Bomb challenge.
That was, not great.
Yes. We haven't talked about the comps too much yet, but
this competition is called Gookopolis.
What's that? What's that, Julie?
Gookopolis.
One of many
Goopocalypse.
reasons why it was just such a bad idea to do these.
On the screen, it was written out as the Goopocalypse.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Okay, Julie was like not pronouncing words. I mean, I think she just needs to get like back in the groove or something. But it
rusty.
was like, and then it was just those awkward pauses where she was like just standing there looking at them, and then she'd like slowly turn, and it was just silent. It was like, okay, we need like, come on, better transitions here. I know it's live, but please, I don't know. It was just not it.
Yeah, the Goopocalypse is where Corey got dragged into when he went to Nether Region. Yeah, he probably landed on a lot of that.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Riley is here. Melissa, yes, you're a fan of Riley?
Actually, yes. I really did like her intro. I feel like I think she has a lot more to offer than the classic, like, oh, just blonde, bombshell who gets cast.
Yeah, she could talk with her mouth closed.
That, it's hard to do. Good for
Rob,
her.
can you do it?
Can you do it, Rob?
No, that's your mouth trumpet.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Talking, or are you just trumpeting?
No, I'm trying to talk. I'll have to try work on practicing it and see if I can throw people up on the podcast. But okay.
That's hard.
Yeah. So we found out about Riley, her story. She lost her dad when she was 14. So she's playing for her dad. Okay.
On her birthday, which is today, which is wild, right? I
Go
read
shorty,
this
it's your birthday, as 50 Cent might say to Izzy.
And not
I
to
guess,
Izzo.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm higher on Riley than most people are. I've been listening to like some of the coverage, and so I've been seeing some of the tweets, and I'm like, really? I don't think she's gonna do well. I think she's gonna be fine. Like, I can see her making jury. She seems like she has a lot more like up here than she's letting on when it comes to the game strategy. Like, I just feel like she's being very coy about some of the stuff that she can do in the game, and I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Okay. We got to meet Luke, and Luke says that everybody will assume he's a big dumb jock, but he's actually a nerd. He's an artist. He has no money.
Yeah, I feel like it was it's kind of funny that he was saying like, oh, everyone's gonna think I'm a big dumb jock, like while he's wearing those like big glasses and he has his hair like part of the side. I was like, I don't know if this guy would be seen as like a big dumb jock. I think like, but it's also odd because I've seen so many different pictures of him where he looks like a completely different person. So I mean, he's versatile. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from him. I really don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
Got nothing.
All right. How about Felicia? Okay.
Annie.
Yep.
Yes, queen.
She came in. She's a real sells real estate. We got to meet Felicia's husband. Her and her husband are super fans. It's just age is just a number.
Good for her. I'm excited about her. I like her.
Yeah.
She said that, and then also said she was about to lie about her age. She's like, age is just a number, but I need mine to be a little bit closer to everybody else's, which I honestly think is not the move. I think you go older. I think you say, I'm 80.
Yeah.
I'm 90, and this is it. This is my thing I need to do. So they give her some sympathy.
For Felicia, I think that this actually does help her quite a bit to have Suri here in the house, because in terms of age, and I'm just like estimating, what how old Suri might be. I think that this is somebody who is closer in age to Felicia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is.
I think Suri's a couple years older than me.
But I feel like, and I think you're totally right. I think the cast is skewing older. I think this is better for the older people in the house at this point. I think it's not so good for Corey. Sorry, what's his name?
Corey. Yes.
I think it's not so good for him because he's so young,
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like it's the fact that now you have another older house guest in the house. I just think it takes that target necessarily off of Felicia, and because I feel like she could be an easy, she's older, she's not going to fit in. Well, she'll fit in just fine. Everyone else is old too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Suri needs to go get her. Go take her under your wing, Suri. Even if you lose Jarrett, you need a replacement Jarrett. This might be, you might just be able to, Suri's good at picking up the pieces. I'm saying is we don't want to close the door to this one, Suri.
That's what she does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have a Hisim, and we got to learn a little bit more about Hisim because we really just got to hear about business Hisim. I don't believe we knew too much from his bios and interviews about the nighttime Hisim who does cabaret and burlesque shows.
Twitter knew, but
Twitter been new, yes.
but yeah, they didn't share that information with us until now. So I think that's great. I think it's exciting. I mean, I did feel like there was seemingly a trend of like people saying, I'm this by day, but this by night, which is like a classic Big Brother trope. But it did feel like a lot of people were doing that this time.
Rob, what would your be by day, by night? Podcaster by day, shirtless memer by night.
That part.
Flip it.
Oh, okay.
Shirtless memer a day and then podcaster at night.
Party in the front, business in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's reverse Hisim.
I'm looking forward to Hisim playing because when these humilitards and stuff, these costumes get pulled out, he is the one who is going to like have the most fun with something like this. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. He identified himself as a gay Arab Muslim man. So very excited to see Hisim here on the show, and is really priding himself on being a strong competitor, going to be good in the challenges. So I feel like that he's going to be very fun to watch. All right.
He did well at kicking himself in the butt.
For sure. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Corey, who that interestingly, we found out some things about him, about really his athletic background that we did not know. It didn't go great for Corey here in this first challenge. But we had known Zach Wertenberger is a master debater. That is well known. And so Corey, like his brother, that he is well suited in the speaking persuasively. He will need that once he gets back from the nether regions. But also he is a black belt.
Yeah, athletic. Good for him.
Yeah, and I wouldn't fault him too much for losing that comp, because I'm assuming they didn't balance the force of the pulling according to weight. So like Corey holding on, at a much lighter weight, I assume, than like Luke or Red, is like they're doing like a regular hanging challenge, but he's wearing like a 50-pound to like 75-pound weight vest on himself. Like very unfair in terms of the how that goes.
That was the same thing with the butt kicking one too. Like if the weight was like, it's a little different for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this about Corey. He is nominated, but based off of his knowledge of the game, I would love to see how he maneuvers this week, because we know that he knows his game in and out. He's a master debater like his brother. It was hard to tell who was more of a master debater, because do we have
to preface with master in the same way that like nether regions is the? Do we have to say master?
17 championships, y'all. 17
They're like
championships.
a better word for that.
He's not a normal debater. This is the master of debates. Thank you. And so I just want to know, how this person is about to maneuver, knowing that he has the power of debate.
Yeah. Look, you would imagine that Corey, being the ultimate super fan, he's seen it all before. I think that he is like having a little bit of the luxury of getting like Dan's funeral timeout, not Danielle's funeral. That okay, let me take a moment, reset. When I come back into the house, I'm gonna be. This is the plan. When he sees Suri, that might throw him off a little bit. But I'm sure that he is going to come back with something.
Right. If not a master debater, he's at the very least a cunning linguist. And so it's one of those things where we know he can talk. And so I'm happy to see how that goes.
Yes. All right.
I think it's tough. How long is he going to be out for? Because I guarantee you, the second all of them enter the house, all three people on the block are getting promises right away. He's not getting those. He's the easy person to say we'll vote him out. And on top of that, again, for somebody like Suri, who's like, I don't need this guy who very well knows who I am. Like, even if he says he's going to work with me now, obviously eventually it's going to be a problem. and my son is on the block right now, and he's
Yeah.
the easy out. Like, there's just so many things going against him. He's gonna need something.
In Cerie's Survivor and Traders career, I'm hard pressed to remember Cerie playing with a person like Corey Wurtenberger. I think the closest that I can come up with is maybe like a young Eric Reichenbach in Survivor Fans versus Favorites. And we saw how that went, but I don't think that Cerie had it out for Eric, who was the Survivor super fan way back when. But we really haven't seen Cerie play with this type of player before.
Yeah. I think you're right. I can't think of anybody comparable at all.
She may take a liking to him. I feel like that the people
I think if he had been able to get in and quickly be like, I love you, Cerie, that would have been one thing. But for the ball to already be rolling in that direction, I think it's tough.
So if we go back and take a look at the players that Cerie has bristled with over the years, I feel like it's people who are like very direct speakers. I remember famously Penner and she really got into it in Survivor Fans versus Favorites. They have like a really epic back and forth over.
Rob, I don't remember that. Can you give us a recap?
I don't remember exactly the tenor of the conversation, but it was a little bit of like, Cerie, you said you were with us. How could you be going and flipping and working with other people when you give your word to one? I would expect you to keep it. And so I think that like these type of players, I don't think Corey is that.
Yeah.
Like the people that are sort of like she tends to like bristle with the people that are sort of like calling the shots for the group. I don't know if she would necessarily be like targeting Corey, except for the fact that of the 4 people on the block, seems like she's not going after Jared. We don't think. And then Felicia went up instantly.
Yeah.
And then it's Kirsten also on the block. Hard to see her like if it's between Kirsten and Corey, feels like that maybe Corey, it's not looking so good.
I have faith in Corey. I do. I do think that maybe Cerie does have her moments with certain people, but it really just depends on if you're trying to dictate Cerie's game or not. With Penner, he's like, come with us, vote out who I want you to vote out with, and then you can be like the last person in our alliance, basically. I thought we had a thing. She's like, yeah, when you needed me, and so that's where they kind of bump heads. We know Cerie and Tom Westman bump heads when she's like, we got to get Tom out because he's going to win. We have to get him out because he's going to win. That is her thing, But I think if you come to Cerie, like you at her mercy, I need you. I don't know what I'm doing. I had never played this game before. Oh my God, you're so smart. How do you do this? You're crazy. I want to go to the end with you. I think that's Cerie's people. Michaela, she thought Sarah Lucina was one of those people. And honestly, probably Sarah Lucina probably could have been one of those people had Cerie not overplayed her hand a little bit. But that's what she's looking for. She's looking for Aris. She's fine with Terry. Until she needs to get Terry out. Then it's like, okay, if that's an issue. Because she played nice with Shane Powers. She can play nice with anybody.
Yeah, a lot can still change this week between the HOH and the veto. So we'll see. All right. The other couple of folks that we haven't talked about, we have Bowie Jane. Okay. Any thoughts on Bowie? We got to see a lot of Bowie.
I like Bowie.
Yeah, I can't believe she's actually going to go in and say that she's
as a fellow barrister.
34.
Yeah.
Melissa, have you ever gone by barrister?
Well, no, because that's only in other countries, not here. But
would you ever wear the wig?
I don't think that's a good look for me, honestly. I think it's shocking that they still do that too. Like it just feels like so like playing dress up. I don't know. Maybe that's offensive. I don't know.
I mean, we say that, but like our judges still wear robes, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we do a lot of really weird stuff too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, we're so cool and normal, but like, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I would not want to wear the wig. Probably not.
Take a moment and let that all sink in.
Okay.
Think about that.
Think about that. Okay. Would you DJ at nighttime then, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
But like she's saying she's gonna say she's 34. I don't think she looks like she's 34. I mean, maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm totally off on what age I think I look like, but I am 33 and I don't think she looks my age.
I think she can pull off 30s. I really do.
What's
I
her
think
actual
late 30s
age,
is very
Melissa?
different from early 30s, and I'm still considering myself an early 30s person.
Hey, Melissa, what's her actual age?
You might have a,
I believe she's
reason to
45,
want to think
Chappell.
that though.
She's 45 trying to pass for 34?
That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I just feel like also like she says that she memorized her new birthday, but I think like, and this was said on Twitter as well, it's like memorizing your birthday is great and all, but it's totally different than like pretending like you weren't alive for like a bunch of current events and things. Like, I feel like it's going to get a little bit obvious. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to like say I'm 40 instead of like 45. It's like saying you're 10 years old or younger than you are. It's very different.
You just say, look, I'm a DJ. I'm a hard liver. You know, I have a hard liver.
Yeah.
And I've lived a hard life.
Melissa, I think it's even harder instead of pretending that you weren't there for certain events. But I think people around the same age have certain lived events that we all went through at the same exact time, where we all remember it the same exact way. And if you're that much older, there's no way you can relate to, like, if the conversation switches to Rugrats, and I'm like, that Angelica, she was such a bitch. You know, like, you need to be like, yeah, like, I need to know that you know. I need to feel that you were there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to be there with us. So I'm like, she might have been there, but
she's gonna say like, oh, 90s only 90s babies know. Or something like, you know, like it's like, I don't know. I just am not seeing it. And you know, they always have the conversation about like, where were you when like Michael Jackson died, or where were you when like 9/11 happened or whatever. Like, and she's going to have to be like, oh, I was in elementary school in my classroom or something. I don't know. It just feels, it's just like, it's a lot of hard work for like not that much payoff. Like, what good does it do for her to
Everyone
say
would
that
think
she's
I'm
younger?
lying about my age because I wouldn't have any idea about most pop culture events that
Taran,
happen.
where were you when Michael Jackson died?
Where were you in 9/11, Taran?
I know that
Explain.
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we like Australia, you know, like it wasn't 9/11 for me. I was there, so it was fine. It was just September, you know.
Yeah, see, the one good thing, like, you're totally right. She could play it off as like, oh, I'm from Australia. We didn't have Rugrats or something, you know.
Okay.
That could work.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about America, because this was great, because that there was a lot of people subscribing to a little bit of a conspiracy theory about America is not a real person. And a lot of people, this was, Taran, did you see this?
Not in a serious way.
Let me go. Chappelle, did you see this? Did you see this today?
Is she she's the person who was on the airplane, right? She's not a real person.
Basically, no. She's like, no. The people on Twitter are the people. The woman on the airplane. A lot of people were saying that America Lopez has no social media. She's 27 years old. There's no LinkedIn. There's no record of her. She is not a real person. She is a twist, and she seemed pretty real to me.
Where part of Texas is she from? I'll go find her people right now. Y'all got the wrong detectives on this. Somebody should have texted me immediately, because I can find anybody. What's America Lopez? Who her mama? What's her mama name? Let me see. North America.
So
what does it say about our society that she doesn't have social media and people are like, fake, not a real human being?
Yep. Okay.
Oh, she from Edinburgh. That's why she ain't got no social media, y'all. They just found out they was free there. Let me hold on. Let me do the research. Y'all could have. I mean, y'all should have tapped me in. Anytime it's Texas related, I got it.
But that's how crazy this was. Like that. Okay, so we did pretty good in the preseason, but then these conspiracy theories got wild, culminating ultimately in Suri is going to be the 17th house guest. So that for many of us to say, like, yeah, right, okay, like you all like go to bed, Twitter, you're drunk. And then that would actually be true.
That one was the Suri thing made sense. A fake person does not. Not all conspiracy theories are made equal.
Yeah, because I didn't found this girl high school yearbook and everything. She's good. She exists. She exists. I found it in 3 seconds. I'll have the dossier up tomorrow on Twitter. Make no mistake.
All right. We had Cameron, and I have to say, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit with Cameron, because Taran, when you and I spoke the other day about Cameron, when we watched the commercial, I said, does this guy have something to do with horses? Because it seemed like there was like a lot of horse puns in his 40 seconds or whatever that was in the commercial. Sure enough, he's a horse guy.
He's a rodeo guy.
He's a horse guy.
Yeah.
Yep. A classic horse guy.
Classic horse guy.
And he named his hair Bertha.
Bertha.
Cause she thick. Thick. You know, I was like, hey, Big Bertha. I thought that was a good name for some hair.
Mhm.
I was confused that he's a stay-at-home dad, a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
Stay-at-home
Yeah.
single dad, yeah.
But
Yeah.
who was making the money to own that ranch?
Maybe he's getting some alimony.
Like, where's
Yeah,
the
maybe
money
he's
coming
got
from?
a sick settlement or something.
So he don't need the money. You know,
Yeah.
Seeing him interact with his daughter was so precious. He was like,
Yeah,
this is
that
the
was
only
cute.
thing that I've ever done right. I'm like, well, somebody's paying the bills at that ranch. So that's a lie. So,
Mhm.
but you've done two things right. Cause I mean, they looked so precious. I'm like, I'm rooting for him in a way. I'm rooting for Serene, but you know, like, if I gotta have other favorites, I think he was like up in the ranks now.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, we got to meet Kirsten. And one thing we found out about Kirsten is
I'm a girl's girl.
girl's
Yeah.
girl. Okay.
Good.
The girls.
This is the second time we've seen like 5 minutes of footage of her, and she has like stepped in a trap twice now.
no.
Between, I have a theory that they're gonna raise the prize money this season, which is
No.
like, okay, you know they just did that, right? To yeah, I'm a girl's girl.
I'm a girl's girl.
Yeah, that's like, okay, tell me you didn't watch last season without telling me you didn't watch last season.
Mhm.
Also, I loved their little like tea party with their little what are those called? Fascinators. Did you guys
Fascinators.
not see what I saw? It was 3 girls having a tea party wearing little like those British hats, those tiny little
Oh,
British
yeah.
hats.
I just didn't know what those
Nobody
were called.
noticed that.
Yeah,
I noticed
sorry.
the
know
tea
what they're
party. I didn't notice
called.
the hats.
I
Yeah,
saw the
didn't know
hats.
about
I
And
just
they were
didn't know
like
they were
Fascinator.
called
sipping tea,
Fascinator.
like
Yeah.
it's time for girls to win.
Yeah,
I was too
Mhm.
focused on the girls thing.
This
Mhm.
is another one I'm the expert on. She's from Texas. She's in Houston. She's from Caribbean. This is a toxic woman. You know, she
Oh.
yeah, look, if you're from Houston and the Caribbean, this is a problem. She's gonna do fine, but I mean, dear God, the woman is amazing. You have to just give her props. I was like, this is a problem. Stay away. Don't crush on
Mhm.
this woman. She will hurt you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to meet all of our house guests. They showed them the whole multiverse movie. Here, it's actually one of the highlights of the episode. Watching it again, I did think like, oh, I bet they're gonna do a quiz about this because they're showing it to them. Nope,
Right. No, just for fun.
just for fun. Okay.
It
Yeah,
was
they had about
very
the same
long.
reaction to this this little segment as they did to Suri,
Mhm.
which was nothing. This
Yeah.
is not a very
Yeah.
reactive cast.
Yeah.
I think like I felt like it was very long, mainly because I had already seen it. So maybe people who hadn't seen it yet online
Yeah.
were just like so pumped to see these 3 back that they were like, yes, give me more content. But I was just like, okay, this is a lot. There's a lot of footage of them just being like, what's going on or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And so, all right,
Oh, go ahead.
then things really started to slow down when we had everybody enter the house. That was just
oh my gosh.
I don't know if like why we had to watch them walk around the house, why they went to so many commercials. Why couldn't we just have the house guests enter the house during the commercial? That would have been
Yes.
that would have been fine.
Can we
Also,
can we reenact it a little bit? Can you guys just start talking?
Be silent.
yeah. Okay. So,
And then just play the same soundbite
to be in the Big Brother 25 house because it's my dream to be here.
And then Haisam just like laughing the whole time, like it's like, oh my God. And then like also why did
they need the
Julie
music to be so loud?
and why did Julie like it's like she calls their names and then we have to sit there while it's like a 3-second clip of them just like grinning at the camera. Like what why not just like let them go in? It was just the whole thing was just very long. And then it's like also I mean, why they're like, okay, and then go to the backyard, like as if it's like a lot of them didn't know where that was. They were just wandering around. You saw them go towards the bedrooms and stuff. And Julie had said to them, like, go into the house. You can take a quick look around and then head to the backyard. But she didn't want them to actually take a look around. She wanted them to go straight to the backyard. Like, it just didn't make any sense.
They were lost, a lot of them.
They were definitely lost. They did not know where the backyard was. They tried to, like, open the door, and then they're like, oh, nope, I guess that's not right. And then they start going into the bathroom. I was like,
Yeah. Okay. Taran, do we have a first one in official person?
America, right?
America.
Yeah, super fan. My
She said
butt,
she was a super
right?
fan, and then Walsh
yeah,
was right
don't
in.
believe it.
Fake person.
Yes, and look, and my queen,
Show us
my
you're a fake
auntie,
person without showing us you're a fake
Felicia
person.
pushing her through first, like, go girl.
Go ahead.
What if the feeds turn on tonight and somebody in the Big Brother house is freaking out? That person is not real.
I would
The
cry.
clip goes viral, and then
That
we
would
can't
be-
find the person.
That would be me walking in and seeing Sari. You know, Taran,
Yeah.
Taran, let's talk about it. This is the last time. Taran, you walk into the Big Brother house and Sari's like, cheers. Don't you just walk out? Because you're just like, what can you say at that point?
I would be like, all right, you got me.
You got me.
Very funny.
Scammers. Who set this up? Ashton.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. This is not a real person.
All right. So we got through all of the comps. Let's talk through the 4 comps real quick that we had. The first one was from the Scrambleverse. Is that what this was?
That was the puzzle one.
Puzzle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
thought the headlines were really funny. I thought they were very clever. I loved like
the newspaper on the
read them.
floor. Did you catch any interesting ones, Melissa?
I liked that BB25 renewed for 2nd season.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
For it.
All right, we're
Begging
ready.
for it.
Ready? Do so you think you could podcast too?
I liked
when that happens.
I thought it was funny how they had the one about Taylor self-evicting or whatever. Like,
Yeah, that was one of the headlines.
Because
Yeah.
she ran out of Blaze, right?
Yeah. Okay. What do we think about Jeff and Rachel tie the knot?
What's Jeff?
Big Jeff.
I don't believe that.
Wait, are they mixing
like it.
showman? Are they wife swapping?
Yes, Taran.
Wife
Boy.
swap.
Brendan
That's
and
what
Jordan
happens
would
in
be
the
cute.
Scrambleverse.
Oh, yeah, I
Brendan
loved
and
the
Jordan
one
would
that
be
said
cute.
Big Brother sweeps the Emmys. It seemed
Mhm.
very pointed because they
Wait,
did not get an Emmy nomination ever,
Rob.
basically.
Yes.
In the retrospective special, Jordan was worried that Jeff,
was cheating. Yes. Yes.
Was she just tapping into the multiverse?
She's tapped in.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah.
She knew.
Oh my God.
Take a moment and let that all sink in.
Like an egg on your head. Like the yolk breaks down.
I thought that this competition was pretty good. I liked, I don't know. I guess I hate these types of puzzles, but I liked this competition more than some of the others. So
This was
I'll
the
give it
best
that.
of the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't close.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Saying
like,
much.
I don't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. All right. The Humiliverse. Kick yourself in the butt 100 times. Can you believe it?
The goal is to kick yourself in the butt 100 times.
I got a text message at that moment from my dear. See, this person is my best friend in my mind, but he just deals with my shenanigans. It's Kevin Jacobs from Big Brother Canada,
Yeah.
and he said this show is terrible, and I said
Mhm.
legit awful. And then he said, I feel so bad we made Shannon Gus watch this, all because
No.
of this challenge.
I'll tell you what. Listen, Big Brother, you brought the legend, Sari
You fixed it.
Fields,
You fixed it.
into your house. Okay.
They make Sari do this, I
Clean
swear.
this up. If you're gonna have mother
Mother,
kicking herself in the butt
not on my watch.
on one of your contraptions, you got another thing coming. You want to win sweep those Emmys?
Right.
Up your game.
Can we talk about the fact that this is not unique this season? That according to the house tour, the have not room has a little wheel that you have to spin that tells you how many times you must kick yourself in the butt with a similar contraption before you're allowed to leave. And this starts to feel less Big Brother and more like 50 Shades of Alison
Ooh.
Grodner or something. Like it's like someone high up is getting their kicks off, and it's not okay.
in the
Getting
butt.
their kicks off.
Exactly.
Getting their kicks
Unsettling
off.
news.
50 Shades, that insinuates that it's like kicks in like a nasty way.
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Brian Scally did text me the same exact thing. I'm just saying, like, is there some nasty shit going on? Y'all gotta keep me in.
Gookopolis.
Whoa, Scally.
Gookopolis. I love how she like enunciates it so clearly too.
Gookopolis.
Gookopolis. Hey, you know, if you say it in a confident way.
All right. But then unfortunately, then kick yourself in the butt 100 times, Kirsten. You're on the block. Okay. Jared's on the block. Kirsten's on the block. Let's talk about the BB comic verse. Okay. It was the aforementioned Gookopolis. Okay. And ultimately, Felicia is on the block.
Who could have seen that coming with this twist?
Yeah.
I'm so upset. I am so upset. What are you doing? You know this woman is 63 years old, and you know that the older person normally goes home, and then you give them a bunch of competitions that are normally geared toward, you know, the like more spry individuals, but you give her 4 different chances to basically get nominated. You know, this could have been any one of them. This maybe this is the best chance she had. But that means right, but that means if she had gotten the scramble puzzle, she would have gone, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this lady's already got an uphill battle. You're not making it any easier. I'm not a fan of this Big Brother. Don't get me wrong. You know, everybody should have an equal, fair chance or whatever, but this lady's 63, and I'm just happy that she's getting to live out something that she's been, you know, wanting to do since the beginning of the show. So I wish that she'd have more time in the show. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Compare it to the best season of Big Brother 10, where Jerry is the first HOH at 75 years old because it wasn't a competition where he had to physically beat people. You know, it's just like, there's a way to do this. You've done it before. What are you doing?
All right. And then finally, we had the last challenge from the Scary Verse. And this was the competition to make sure you can hold on.
The nether region.
And not go to the nether regions. And unfortunately, this went on forever. Taran, Julie tried to make this less awkward by saying, like, wow, you all are so good at this.
You couldn't even see their faces. Like, who designed this visually?
Literally, it's just tops of heads and fingers.
Yeah, not great. It's just really very boring. And, you know,
I was waiting for it to like tilt upwards or something so we could like see them hanging or something, but there was nothing. It was nothing.
Nothing. It was nothing.
Just laying there.
Yep. Just people just laying there on TV, waiting to get pulled into the nether regions. And then ultimately it was Corey.
I'm starting to think that it really wasn't nether regions like on the teleprompter, and that it was something like nether world or whatever, or nether realm or
the
something.
Upside down.
And she just said nether region because she was making
the nether region.
A Juliism.
A Juliism.
Yeah.
Nether have I ever.
Check out. Never mind. So yeah, this was bad. I guess I felt like if you like a wall comp, you're gonna love this. You're like, not the same.
No, not loving
not
it.
the same.
Yep.
The same.
All right. And that's our Big Brother premiere. Can't believe we talked for longer than the actual premiere about this.
Wait,
so
we forgot to talk about Suri.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
We need to talk for like 10 more hours about that.
Don't you have 10 more hours to talk about? Because I do. That's why I'll be on the live feeds tomorrow with Taran and the next day with Taran and the next day with Taran.
All right. Well, then, all right. Let me set some stuff up here at the start of the season. Okay. Of course, we told you about where to subscribe. Rob is a website.com/Big Brother. But I'm very excited with everything that we have going on over on Patreon here, because this is going to be the biggest season of Patreon content that we're doing. We are going to be doing a lot of patron content, including we'll have our first BB Q&A with Taran and myself. And this season, we'll be taking your voicemails as well. We'll be having the slop coming back, and then we'll be doing more exclusive content in the patron feed during the week. And tomorrow at 6 p.m., I'm going to be doing something where we're going to be doing some bantering. We'll talk about, we'll have the feeds on if there's anything to comment on there. I'm going to be live for the patrons at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you want to call in potentially, we're figuring it out. That's at robhasawebsite.com/patron. And then if you want to play in the Make Your Picks fantasy game, you can download the Make Your Picks app and look for Rob as a podcast. Hey, everybody over at Make Your Picks, get Sari on the draft board so that people can draft her to play in the Make Your Picks fantasy game. Look for the Rob as a podcast as a featured pool. All right. That was what we got here tonight. All right. So, and then make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Of course, if you missed the draft last night, you don't have to watch it because my whole draft team is on the block. But if you are morbidly curious, check out the preseason draft up on our YouTube channel and podcast. And then tomorrow morning, Taran is coming back with the live feed update. Taran, last night, you posed for new pictures. Why is this? Why is still the old
Yeah,
picture
where
there?
are they?
I don't know.
Where's Taran's shock
we,
face?
We gotta have a conversation about this, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
We need the reaction phase.
Yeah, there were some
All right.
good ones.
All right. Every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, check out on our YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, you'll be updated with when Taran is going live. Taran, tomorrow morning, you're solo, right?
Until Chappell barges in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who knows what will unfold here tonight as live feeds kick off in about 45 minutes. Also, David Bloomberg and Ovi are back to talk about why blank lost. Nobody's lost yet, but they've got a preview of season 25. No Sari to talk about there from their preview, but whatever happens with next week's eviction, David Bloomberg and Ovi will talk you through each week why blank loss. That's in our Big Brother podcast feed. You can subscribe to all of our podcast feeds when you go to robhasawebsite.com/subscribe. Okay. All right. Melissa, what's coming up for you?
Just this. Big Brother, Big Brother, Big Brother. Very excited. You can follow me on all social media. It's Melissa with 3 A's, and I'll be back for Stock Watch and more recaps.
Stock Watch will be on Tuesdays, correct?
I believe, yes.
Tuesdays,
Yes,
and then so this Big Brother season, the Scrambleverse is in full effect. Okay, that basically there's like one version of the Big Brother schedule, and then things are going to move around once we get to football and to Survivor. So just for our August schedule, Tuesday nights for the Stock Watch that will be back. Make sure you're subscribed for all that. Chappell, besides doing all the live feed updates with Taran this season, what else is coming up your way?
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot right now, so you can check me out in various locations. But if you follow me on Twitter at Chappelle's_show, you will see the things I'm talking about because I like to tweet out the links. So first and foremost, here on Rob Has a Podcast, Sasha and I are talking about Below Deck. We went live today, and so you can check out our YouTube coverage of Below Deck Down Under, or you can subscribe to the RHAP Bravo feed to keep up with what Sasha and I are doing and to get a lot of reviews in, because Sasha and I made some type of bet to where I'm going to be like, I'm taking off my shirt. I'm wearing a toga. It's gonna be painted gold.
Don't do it.
The whole thing. Well, it's too late. It's out there now. If we get all the reviews, we're looking for 100 reviews, rating, 5-star ratings, of course, only. Check that out and support us talking about Below Deck. It's a crazy show. Also, Sasha and I are talking about Never Have I Ever season 4. We have 2 more podcasts left to wrap up the finale of this crazy show that I really love. And so check that out on Silent Podcast. Over on post-show recaps, I'm talking about Grey's Anatomy with Ariel. Every month, Ariel and I release one Grey's podcast, and this month we did a retrospective of the life and times of Christina Yang, and it was a time. Ariel's hilarious, and so check that out on post-show recaps on our Grey's Anatomies series. And then Mari and I are on post-show recaps. We just started another show on the Connect on post-show recaps. Mari and I are talking about the HBO show Issa Rae's own RHAP Shit. And so season 2 of RHAP Shit is coming out next week, August 10th. And so tune in to the Connect on PSR to keep up with what Mari and I are talking about when we discuss the entire show. We dropped the preview this week. And then Rob, you and I were on Nothing But Netflix with Mari talking about Deepfake Love. And this week we have a thing.
Yes. Well, I just want to highlight Deepfake Love because that was a really, really great podcast of a very unhinged show. In case people missed it, that it is like Temptation Island, but the couples are then shown real footage of their partners cheating or deepfakes of their partners cheating. They have to determine what's real and what's not. We talked about the entire series on the latest Nothing But Netflix with Mari. And that was really a very, very fun podcast. You do not need to have watched Deepfake Love to enjoy that podcast.
Y'all, they have to decide if their partner is cheating or not. And that's not even how you win the game. It's not that you're not getting cheated on. The goal is to not get cheated on. The goal is to determine if this is AI or if this is really your partner out here smashing and dashing on national television. It's crazy. Spanish people are wild. It's a good time. Check it out. And I think we might have a Big Brother cameo this week on Nothing But Netflix.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I think we can lock things down. So somebody from Big Brother 22 might be appearing. Just
or 23
throw that out there. 23. Is it 23? Yeah. Might be appearing. So check that out. Subscribe to Nothing But Netflix wherever you get your podcast. And of course, like I said, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Chappell TNT.
Okay, Taran. And of course, it all gets started for you within the hour.
Yes. Right after this, head over to twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. I will be live for the first night of feeds to talk about everything going on. Watch them as it happens. So come and discuss and hang out on the Twitch channel. We'll be having a good time.
See how late Taran is gonna be hanging on like a hare in a cornbread.
Yep.
like a skeeter in a nudist colony.
Yeah, Taran's gonna be busier than a skeeter in a nudist colony this summer. So be on the lookout for that. And then, of course, Claim to Fame is rolling along. It's been a great Claim to Fame season. I know Chappelle loves it. So be sure to check that out. Myself and Jenny Autumn every single week. You can get that in the Rob as a podcast feed. Thank you so much.
And do the mom challenge.
Do the mom challenge.
Do the mom challenge.
Yeah, it took a minute for my
great.
mom to get there.
My mom got it right away, and she's not watching the season. She just knew.
Yeah,
they know.
Very impressive.
They know. Somebody show it to Sari. All right. So then, thank you for joining us. We'll be live for our next recap of Big Brother coming up on Sunday night. So join us then. RobIsTheWebsite.com/subscribe. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.